Did you ever wonder what happens when cinema pushes too far, when the line between daring art and outright chaos blurs? Imagine a screen filled with stories so raw, so shocking, that authorities reach for the scissors before the credits roll. French filmmakers have a knack for walking that razor edge, creating films that make audiences gasp, squirm, and question everything they thought they knew about storytelling. Today, we're diving deep into 10 French exploitation films that shook censors to their core and changed cinema forever. Baise-moi 2000. Let's start with a film that grabbed the world by the collar and refused to let go. Baise-moi. Directed by Virginie Despentes and Coralie Trinity, this isn't just a movie, it's a shockwave wrapped in celluloid. Two women, hurt and disillusioned by life, embark on a journey of chaos, leaving nothing untouched along the way. The twist? The line between viewer and participant blurs. Every scene pulses with intensity. Every moment challenges the comfort zones of even the most fearless audience. Did you know? When it premiered, Baise-moi was banned or heavily edited in multiple countries, sparking furious debates over art versus morality. Some called it feminist revolt, others pure provocation. But what made it unforgettable wasn't just the controversy. It was the daring way it mixed realism with storytelling. You could almost feel the streets of Paris breathing through the frame, the characters' defiance echoing in every alleyway, every shadowed corner. Behind the scenes, the production itself was a quiet rebellion. Virginie Despentes, a novelist turned filmmaker, insisted on raw authenticity. Instead of polished performances, she encouraged spontaneity, capturing the chaos of her characters' emotions in real time. The result? Scenes that felt uncomfortably immediate, shocking in their intensity, but impossible to ignore. And here's a little-known fact. The film's soundtrack, a mix of pulsing electronic beats and abrasive rock, was designed to unsettle viewers, to make them feel on edge from the first frame. It wasn't just a story you watched, it was a story you lived. Baise-moi is a perfect example of French cinema's power to provoke, to test boundaries, and to leave a mark that lingers long after the screen goes dark. Irreversible 2002. Now, imagine watching a story in reverse, where chaos collides with tragedy, and every second feels like it might shatter your sense of calm. Gaspar Noé's Irreversible does exactly that. Starring Monica Bellucci and Vincent Cassel, the film is famous, or infamous, for its unbroken sequences of terror that leave you gripping your seat. Every shot, every frame, is designed to disorient, to pull you deeper into a world where consequences hit like a freight train. Here's the kicker. The film plays with time in a way most audiences had never seen. You're moving backward through a story that feels forward in its emotional impact. The effect? A sense of inevitability, a reminder that tragedy and chaos are inescapable. French authorities didn't take it lightly. The intensity of the narrative led to censorship and age restrictions in several countries, sparking heated debates about the limits of cinematic storytelling. Did you know? Noé famously cast actors who were encouraged to react spontaneously in high-pressure scenes, creating a raw, unpredictable energy on screen. Bellucci and Cassel weren't just acting. They were experiencing the story in real time, and the camera never blinked. Audiences were drawn into every heartbeat, every glance, every silent moment, feeling the tension as if it were their own. The production itself was audacious. Shot in stark fluorescent lighting and punctuated by a low, pulsing soundtrack, Irreversible feels less like a movie and more like an emotional assault. No director had asked viewers to endure something so viscerally intense, and that's why censors quivered and critics argued. It wasn't just storytelling, it was an experiment, a challenge, a dare. By the time the credits rolled, audiences weren't just watching the film, they were living it, gasping through the chaos, questioning morality, fate, and the fragility of human connection. And that's precisely why Irreversible continues to haunt, inspire, and terrify cinema lovers worldwide. La Grande Bouffe 1973. Next up, a film that makes indulgence feel dangerously alive. La Grande Bouffe, directed by Marco Ferreri. Imagine a mansion filled with four men determined to eat themselves to death. Sounds absurd? That's the point. Ferreri took satire and turned it into something grotesque, beautiful, and utterly unforgettable. When it premiered at Cannes, jaws dropped. Critics called it scandalous. Audiences were divided between shock and fascination. Authorities in several countries censored scenes of extreme overindulgence. But behind the spectacle, La Grande Bouffe is a razor-sharp commentary on society's obsession with excess. Every bite, every gluttonous moment reflects a culture consuming itself, materially, morally, and emotionally. Did you know? The actors, Marcello Mastroianni, Michel Piccoli, Philippe Noiret, and Ugo Tognazzi, committed fully to the chaos. Reports say they actually overate on set to maintain realism, sometimes leaving the crew scrambling to keep pace. The result? Scenes that were as shocking in reality as they were on screen. Ferreri's genius was turning the grotesque into comedy, tragedy, and social critique simultaneously. Audiences couldn't look away, even when they wanted to. The mansion became a microcosm of society, a playground for taboo, and a warning about the dangers of unchecked indulgence. La Grande Bouffe isn't just a film, it's a feast for the senses and a cautionary tale wrapped in cinematic audacity. Les Valseurs 1974. What happens when cinema refuses to follow the rules? Enter Les Valseurs, Bertrand Blier's 1974. Shockwave of a film that made censors squirm and audiences gasp. Known in English as Going Places, the film isn't just a story. It's a whirlwind, a rebellious, chaotic romp that pushes the limits of comedy, social commentary, and human behavior. The plot follows two aimless drifters, Jean-Claude and Pierrot, whose charm masks a streak of audacious mischief. They wander through French society, stealing, scheming, and challenging authority at every turn, dragging everyone around them into a dizzying mix of chaos and laughter. Did you know? At the time of its release, Les Valseurs was heavily censored in multiple countries for its provocative content and brazen depiction of characters who flaunt social norms with shocking abandon. But the brilliance of Blier's work isn't just in the scandal, it's in the razor-sharp wit, the dark humor, and the daring freedom of expression. Every scene pulses with energy. The streets, the cafes, the bedrooms, all become stages for a rebellion against conformity. It's raucous, unpredictable, and gloriously alive, blending comedy with the harsh truths of human desire, frustration, and longing. What sets Les Valseurs apart is how it captures the spirit of a generation. Jean-Claude and Pierrot are not heroes. They're anarchists, tricksters, and mirrors of the society around them, reflecting its hypocrisies, absurdities, and hidden desires. Every interaction, every transgression, challenges audiences to reconsider the boundaries between right and wrong, freedom and chaos, laughter and discomfort. Even decades later, Les Valseurs stands as a landmark in French cinema, a film that dared to provoke, to challenge, and to entertain in equal measure. It's messy, audacious, and unforgettable, a cinematic dance that spins viewers into the wild heart of rebellion. So, buckle up, because stepping into Les Valseurs is stepping into the pulse of 1970s France, a world where rules are optional, chaos is celebrated, and cinema doesn't apologize for being alive. Fandoilis, 1968. What if I told you there was a film so strange, so disorienting, that audiences walked out screaming, and critics called it both a masterpiece and a nightmare? Welcome to Fandoilis, Alejandro Jodorowsky's 1968 debut feature, a surrealist odyssey that made authorities in Mexico nervous and earned a reputation as one of the most provocative films of its era. The story is deceptively simple. A young couple, Fando and Lise, embark on a journey through a barren, post-apocalyptic landscape in search of the mythical city of Tar. But simplicity is an illusion. Every scene explodes with visual chaos, grotesque imagery, and dreamlike sequences that twist reality into something unrecognizable. Did you know? When Fandoilis premiered in Mexico City, audiences reacted violently. People fainted, screamed, and stormed out, forcing the film to be banned shortly after its release. It was the first taste of Jodorowsky's fearless vision of cinema. Jodorowsky's genius lies in his ability to merge surrealism, symbolism, and raw human emotion. Faces contort, objects morph, and landscapes warp. Every frame is a carefully orchestrated hallucination. The film blurs the line between fantasy and nightmare, forcing viewers to confront the bizarre, the beautiful, and the terrifying all at once. It's cinema as a living, breathing mindscape, a place where narrative logic gives way to emotional truth. But beyond the shocking visuals, Fandoilis is a meditation on human desire, suffering, and the quest for meaning. The barren landscapes, disturbing imagery, and strange encounters reflect the couple's inner turmoil, their longing, and the chaos of life itself. Every bizarre interaction becomes a mirror to human fears and obsessions, surreal, unsettling, and profoundly poetic. Even decades later, Fondo y Lis stands as a seminal work in avant-garde cinema. It's not just a film, it's an experience, a hallucinatory journey that challenges everything you thought cinema could be. Jodorowsky didn't just create a story. He created a fever dream you'll never forget. Step inside if you dare, and let the strange, hypnotic world of Fondo y Lis take you where few films dare to go. Vampiros Lesbos, 1971. Next, a film that blends glamour and gothic tension. Vampiros Lesbos, directed by Jesus Franco. Part horror, part erotic thriller, and all surreal. This film shocked censors with its bold visual style and unapologetic storytelling. Set in a castle dripping with mystery, it follows a young woman drawn into a world of vampires and dark intrigue. Authorities in Germany, Spain, and France demanded cuts to several scenes, fearing the hypnotic, sensual energy would overwhelm audiences. Did you know? Franco's signature style combined hypnotic music, unusual camera angles, and dreamlike lighting. The score alone, pulsing with exotic rhythms, became a defining feature that kept viewers entranced, amplifying every moment of tension and seduction. The film's lasting impact? It showed that exploitation could be stylish, immersive, and narratively ambitious. Modern directors cite Vampiros Lesbos as inspiration for blending genre thrills with visual poetry. Sweet Movie 1974. Imagine a film where logic collapses, norms shatter, and cinema itself feels like it's thrown into a blender. That's Sweet Movie, the 1974 brainchild of Serbian director Dusan Makavejev, a movie that dared to defy every expectation, leaving censors around the world scrambling and audiences both shocked and mesmerized. Makavejev didn't make films. He orchestrated cinematic carnivals. Sweet Movie is part dark comedy, part political satire, part surrealist fever dream. The story intertwines two women, one a liberated adventurer of desire, the other a symbol of innocence caught in a grotesque world, spinning through bizarre sequences of absurdity, chaos, and relentless provocation. Did you know? The film was originally banned in multiple countries, including Canada and the UK, because it blended taboo subjects with relentless surrealism, challenging conventional morality and taste without flinching. Every frame is meticulously designed to shock and captivate. Makavejev combines hyper-stylized visuals, rapid montage cuts, and startling juxtapositions that feel like walking through a museum of the bizarre. The cinematography constantly pushes viewers to question reality. Are we watching a story unfold? Or are we being swept through a dream? Or perhaps a nightmare that refuses to obey any rules? The genius of Sweet Movie lies in its audacious commentary. Beneath the grotesque and the absurd lies Makavejev's sharp critique of politics, power, and societal obsession. Every outrageous scene, every chaotic, meticulously choreographed moment serves as a mirror to human folly and the fragility of order. Its humor, horror, and philosophy all rolled into a relentless cinematic rhythm. Even decades later, Sweet Movie remains a touchstone for avant-garde cinema. It's a masterclass in how far filmmakers can push boundaries, both narratively and visually, without losing the thread of social commentary. Makavejev's fearless experimentation influenced generations of directors seeking to blend satire, shock, and artistry into a single, unforgettable package. In the end, Sweet Movie is more than a movie. It's a wild ride through the darkest corners of imagination, a reminder that cinema can provoke, puzzle, and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Step inside, and you might never see film or reality the same way again. Inferno, 1980. Step into a world drenched in color, sound, and suspense, and you'll find Inferno, Dario Argento's 1980 masterpiece that redefined horror for the senses. This isn't just a film. It's an experience. Argento, already legendary for Suspiria, pushed the boundaries of visual storytelling, combining vibrant, almost surreal cinematography with a tale that teeters between reality and nightmare. Imagine a New York apartment building that isn't merely a setting, but a labyrinth of danger, shadows, and whispers. The walls themselves seem alive, hiding secrets that are both grotesque and mesmerizing. Argento's camera doesn't just observe, It prowls. Every angle, every zoom, every lighting choice is a calculated shock, pulling viewers into a tension that feels electric and inescapable. Inferno is a study in sensory overload. The soundtrack pulses with rhythmic intensity, enhancing every scene with a hypnotic, almost hallucinatory energy. Did you know? The film's set design was painstakingly crafted to create an unsettling, otherworldly environment. Mirrors, stairwells, and corridors twist in ways that challenge perception, making the building itself a character, an antagonist that's as frightening as the story's masked murderer. Censors across the globe struggled with Inferno. The combination of stylized horror, shocking imagery, and relentless suspense led to edits, delayed releases, and warnings. Yet Argento's artistry shone through every cut. The film didn't just scare, it enchanted, mesmerized, and pushed viewers to confront their own fascination with fear. What sets Inferno apart is its audacious blend of beauty and terror. Scenes unfold like moving paintings, blood-red curtains, shimmering light, and surreal choreography of movement and menace. It's horror elevated into art, where every frame communicates mood, tension, and visual poetry simultaneously. Even decades later, Inferno stands as a benchmark for daring filmmakers. Its influence is clear in modern thrillers, horror, and experimental cinema that prioritize style as much as story. Watching it today, you can feel Argento's audacity in every shot. His fearlessness in bending reality, his command over emotion, and his unflinching commitment to cinematic spectacle. Inferno reminds us that horror isn't just about fright. It's about immersion, artistry, and the intoxicating allure of the unknown. It's a journey you won't forget, a fever dream painted in shadows and light, and a masterclass in why cinema can and should push boundaries. Emmanuel, 1974. Emmanuel may not be a horror or surrealist film, but its arrival shocked audiences and censors worldwide. It's a cinematic exploration of glamour, ambition, and desire, wrapped in elegance and luxury. When released, authorities in several countries demanded edits, concerned about the film's daring exploration of human relationships and the freedom it portrayed. Yet behind the controversy, it's a story of self-discovery, identity, and personal liberation, all framed in cinematic beauty. Did you know? The film's visual style inspired countless directors to approach storytelling with intimacy and nuance. Every frame emphasizes mood, texture, and the subtle interplay between characters, turning simple gestures into meaningful cinematic statements. Emmanuel demonstrates how even the most understated films can provoke, inspire, and redefine genres. Its legend isn't just about controversy, it's about elegance, confidence, and narrative courage. L'Abate, 1975. Step into a world where European legends collide with absurd comedy and visual chaos, and you'll find L'Abate, Walerian Borowczyk's 1975 masterpiece that left censors squirming and audiences wide-eyed. Loosely inspired by folk tales of old, the film's audacious imagery, unexpected humor, and dreamlike narrative were unlike anything viewers had seen before, and it wasn't subtle about it. Imagine this, a fable ripped from the pages of mythology, set loose on the screen with all the precision of a painter's brush and the madness of a carnival parade. Every frame is a deliberate spectacle. Every gesture, every composition feels calculated to shock, amuse, and mesmerize simultaneously. Borowczyk didn't just direct a film, he sculpted a living, breathing canvas where the story unfolds more like wandering through an art gallery than watching conventional cinema. And yet, it has heart, wit, and a bizarre charm that pulls you in despite its chaos. Censors across Europe couldn't handle it. They demanded edits, cuts, trims, attempts to rein in the audacity. But even when parts were removed, the film's energy refused to be contained. Audiences embraced the madness, captivated by its imaginative sequences and unexpected humor. Did you know? Borowczyk drew inspiration from theater, painting, and classical mythology, blending these elements so seamlessly that each scene becomes a story in miniature. Sometimes beautiful, sometimes grotesque, always unforgettable. What makes L'Abate truly remarkable is how it balances extremes. On one hand, it's playful, absurd, and darkly humorous. On the other, it's daring, provocative, and utterly unafraid to challenge its viewers. It's a reminder that French cinema often thrives where others fear to tread, where rules are suggestions and imagination reigns supreme. The influence of Labate is still felt today. Modern art films, surreal comedies, and experimental storytellers continue to borrow from Borowczyk's audacious style, where visuals aren't just decoration, they are narrative, emotion, and philosophy all at once. Watching it now, decades later, is like stepping into a fever dream meticulously arranged by a master artist, chaotic, beautiful, and impossibly alive. If cinema is a playground for the daring, Labate swings higher, spins wilder, and lands with a flourish you can't forget. It's proof that when you give yourself permission to break every rule, you create something that shocks, delights, and lingers in the memory long after the screen goes dark. And there you have it, the secret, daring, and downright unforgettable world of French exploitation cinema. From chaotic feasts to hypnotic nightmares, these films dared to defy norms, challenge censors, and leave audiences breathless. Which one will you dare to watch first? Don't just scroll by, hit like, comment your favorite, and subscribe for more cinematic secrets waiting behind the velvet curtain. Keep your eyes wide, your popcorn close, and remember, Hollywood glamour meets bold rebellion in every frame.